Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Before starting the video, please subscribe and keep watching for more details videos. Coco Gauff's former doubles partner gives one word to describe how she felt watching her win Roland Garros this year. Coco Gauff won her second Grand Slam title at Roland Garros earlier this year. Gauff beat Aryna Sabalenka in the Roland Garros final, adding to her U.S. Open title from 2023. However, the world number 2 was unable to continue this at her next major tournament, with Gauff losing in the first round of Wimbledon to Diana Yastremska. It has still been a very strong start to the season for American women, with Madison Keys also winning the Australian Open. Now Gauff's former doubles partner has revealed how she felt watching her compatriot succeed while she was competing in lower-level tournaments. Caty McNally explains how she felt watching Coco Gauff win Roland Garros. Gauff has been a big name on the tennis circuit since the age of 15, where she'd beat Venus Williams in a breakthrough run to the 4th round of Wimbledon. However, her first official win on the WTA Tour came at the Miami Open, where Gauff would beat Caty McNally. Gauff and McNally were also doubles partners at the time, before the former went on to become one of the top players on the WTA Tour. McNally's career has gone in a very different trajectory to Gauff's, having fallen outside the top 1,000 in the WTA rankings last year after undergoing elbow surgery. Despite this, she does not appear to hold any bitterness towards her compatriots, and McNally told Tennis Channel that she has actually been inspired by the likes of Gauff, Keys, and Wimbledon finalist Amanda Anisimova. "It's been extremely inspiring," said McNally. Maddie won Australia, Coco won the French, Amanda being in the finals of Wimbledon. "I think it just shows the depth of U.S. tennis, and those are just 3 of the many girls who are in the top 100 or top 50. There's just so many girls that are so good from the States. So I think if I had to say one word, it would just be inspiring. For me, it's just continue to put your head down, keep working, and I think eventually my time will come." McNally has made an impressive comeback from surgery, highlighted by her victory at the WTA 125 tournament in Newport, Rhode Island. She was also the only player to take a set off Wimbledon champion Iga Swiatek, and has now risen back up to world number 135 in the WTA rankings. Why do Coco Gauff and Caty McNally not play together anymore? Gauff and McNally won 5 titles together, including winning the junior edition of Roland Garros in 2018. They also reached the senior final of the U.S. Open women's doubles event in 2021. Just losing out to Sam Stosur and Shuai Zhang. The last time that Gauff and McNally competed at a WTA Tour event together was the 2022 Miami Open, where they reached the semifinals. It was unclear as to why the pair decided to go separate ways, but McNally confirmed later that year that there was no bad blood between her and Gauff. "Coco and I, yeah, like we are not playing right now, as everyone has probably seen, but we still have a great friendship," McNally said in August 2022. "I still consider her one of my best friends on tour. We still support each other through the ups and downs." Gauff and McNally have since played doubles together at the Billie Jean King Cup, with their last match coming in April 2023. Coco Gauff's former doubles partner reflects on French Open glory. In the kaleidoscope of tennis memories, few moments shimmer quite as brightly as Coco Gauff's triumphant run at Roland Garros this year. The red clay of Paris, a battleground for legends, bore witness to the ascension of a young woman who once wore braces and braided pigtails on center court. Now she lifted the trophy with a champion's poise, her fist clenched and tears streaming as the stadium thundered in admiration. Among the millions who watched, one voice, one heart, one memory stood out in quiet reverence. Her former doubles partner, Caty McNally, a talented player in her own right, and once half of the celebrated McCoco duo, didn't need a paragraph, or even a sentence, to describe her feelings. She needed just one word: unreal. A partnership forged in fire and fun. Before the Grand Slams and glittering trophies, there was friendship. Gauff and McNally were more than just partners on court. They were kindred spirits, teenage phenoms navigating the intense spotlight of the tennis world. Together, they laughed, fought nerves, celebrated wins, and leaned on each other during tough losses. Their chemistry on the court was magnetic. Fans dubbed them McCoco, as they blazed through doubles draws with bold shot-making and youthful exuberance. Back then, McNally saw Gauff's potential not just as a double specialist, but as a future Grand Slam singles champion. She had that fire, McNally once said. Even when we were just goofing off in the locker room, there was this sense that Coco was meant for something big. You could see it in her eyes. Yet as their careers evolved, so did their paths. While Gauff surged toward the top in singles, McNally focused on carving out her own identity. The split wasn't dramatic, more a natural progression, but the bond remained. So when Gauff stepped onto the clay of Roland Garros this year, McNally watched not just as a fan, but as someone who had once shared the baseline with her. Every forehand winner, every clenched jaw of determination, it was personal. The road to Roland Garros glory. The 2025 Roland Garros was not an easy tournament. The clay was unforgiving, and the draw was brutal. Gauff entered the French Open with weighty expectations. After a rollercoaster year filled with highs, including her repeat SB win and a hard-fought rivalry with Aryna Sabalenka, and a few lows, she knew that Paris could be the place where it all came together. Round after round, she grew stronger. She weathered storms from clay court specialists, outlasted Grand Slam champions, and dismantled rising stars. Her semifinal match against reigning champion Iga Swiatek was a defining moment, a tactical, emotional, and physical battle that Gauff won in 3 stunning sets. By the time she reached the final, she had become the favorite. And yet, she played as if she still had something to prove. To herself, to the doubters, maybe even to the 15-year-old Coco who first burst onto the scene at Wimbledon years ago. With her victory at Roland Garros, Coco Gauff not only earned her second Grand Slam title, but also solidified her status as a generational icon. McNally's perspective, one word, infinite emotions. When the final point was played and Gauff collapsed to her knees, McNally was watching from her apartment in Florida. The match had ended past midnight. She hadn't moved from the couch for hours, gripped by a mixture of adrenaline and emotion. Unreal, she whispered. That word, so simple, yet loaded with meaning, carried the weight of shared history, youthful ambition, and admiration. Watching her win, it felt like watching a sister reach the stars, McNally said in a post-tournament interview. That's why I said unreal. Because it's so rare to see someone you know that closely achieve something so massive. And yet, with Coco, it also felt inevitable. McNally's voice cracked as she recalled their first big doubles win in Washington, D.C., the late-night giggles in hotels, the nerves before matches. We were just kids. And now, she's a Roland Garros champion. It wasn't jealousy. It wasn't regret. It was pride, pure, radiant pride. The McCoco legacy lives on. Even though Gauff and McNally no longer regularly team up on court, the tennis world hasn't forgotten McCoco. Their doubles legacy paved the way for a new era of exciting, fearless play. Young duos now cite them as inspiration. And while both players have matured into individual forces, there's always been hope for a reunion, perhaps at the Olympics or another Grand Slam doubles tournament. Asked if she'd consider reuniting with Gauff, McNally smiled. Of course. That connection never goes away. We've both grown so much, but deep down, I think we'd still have that magic. Gauff's own reflection. After her win, when asked what message she'd send to those who believed in her from the beginning, Gauff paused. There are so many people I could thank, she said. But I especially want to say something to Katie. I wouldn't be here without her. She was there for some of my biggest learning moments. She believed in me when I was still figuring myself out. Those words echoed around the tennis world, and no one felt them more deeply than McNally. Beyond the baseline, Gauff's victory is more than just a trophy on a shelf. It's a moment that bridges past and present, a reminder that greatness often springs from humble beginnings and loyal friendships. It's about 2 young girls who dared to dream on tennis courts across the globe, and one of them now conquering the most iconic stadiums in the sport. And even though only one held the trophy aloft in Paris, it felt like a shared triumph, a future still intertwined. The tennis world moves fast. New stars rise, old champions return, and rivalries twist in unexpected ways. But the story of Coco Gauff and Katie McNally is written into the soul of this generation. Whether it's a doubles reunion, a mixed doubles pairing at the Olympics, or simply mutual support from afar, the McCoco spirit endures. As McNally said, we'll always be connected. That's bigger than rankings or results. When Coco wins, a part of me wins too.